Good morning, guys, and welcome back to Computer Applications in Mechanical and Industrial Engineering. In this lecture, we will start new topics. First of all, we will introduce them, and these topics will be for this week and the next week. And then we will end the first part of this course, which is Matlab. We'll start another part, which is optimization using Excel and Lingo. Now, in this part, guys, we will go over the programming constructs of Matlab. We know, guys, that Matlab, if we have any script or if we are writing our commands on the command window, Matlab will start by default in a sequential mode from top command to bottom. So basically, guys, if I used X before defining X, even if I defined X at the bottom side of this script, Matlab will give me an error, because basically the default mode of Matlab is called sequential, and it is following the sequence of commands from top to bottom. So this is basically the first programming construct. However, sometimes we need to do some commands if there is a certain condition, if this condition is valid, or to skip this block of commands if this condition is not valid. And we do this in a mode called selection or branching. Sometimes you only want some lines of this code to be run only if this condition is met. Otherwise, you want the computer to ignore these lines and jump over them, skip them, and this can be done using the if statement. So what is an if statement? If statement is basically used if I need to state a condition. So after this if, I will have a certain condition in an expression. If this condition here is valid, then Matlab will do all the commands here in these statements and will skip anything else until the end. Now, if the first condition is not valid and I have an else if means what? If this condition is not valid, but this condition after else if is valid, then Matlab will be executing this block of commands. Now, if these two conditions or any condition written in this script are not valid, anything else will be this one. So I can do these statements. So usually, if is used with else if and with else, and sometimes it is only alone. So I will have only if, one if. Sometimes I can have if with one else. Sometimes I can have if, several else if, and at the end I will have one else. After else, I will not have any condition because this is when anything else is happening. And in this case, I have a block of commands here to be executed. For each if, I should have an end, because as you will see in the next video, if I don't have an end for each if, Matlab will give me an error, because basically Matlab has to know where is this condition, where is the end of this condition. So guys, this is the format of if condition, and in this case, guys, remember, I have a selection. In this case, guys, one only of these statements or one only of these blocks of commands should be executed. So guys, here I can have more than one command. It is called a block of commands. So this is, let's say, block A of commands. This is block B of commands, and this is block C of commands. Only one block will be executed. I will never have two executed or more than one block of command executed. And this is called selection. So this mode is very different than the default mode, which is the sequential, because in this mode, I'm gonna select the block of commands where the condition is valid. Now the third mode is called loop. And loop is used whenever I want to execute the same lines of code several times. So in order not to repeat these lines so many times, let's say 10 times, I can have a for loop for 10 times. And after this for loop, I have a block of commands to be executed several times, depending on the number of iterations or on the number of repetitions. And as for if, for has also an end. If you don't write an and for each for, then you will have an error. The same goes for while. While also is used to repeat something, to repeat a block of commands, and this is when the condition is true. And in this case, also while, guys, has an end. If you don't write an end, if you don't write and, then you will have an error. So this mode is used if I need to repeat a block of commands several times. Now, what I want to start with today is the relational and logical operators. Why? Because if I need to state a condition, I should use them. I should use the logical operator. If I need also to make a loop using while, or if I need to put an if inside the for loop, also guys, I have to use the logical operator. So basically, I'm gonna start the first part of this lecture by talking about the relational operators and the logical operators. And I want you to try them all on your command window. So no need to do a script now because you are trying these operators. You can try them on your command window. So let's start with this part.